This is Dr. Dale Miles, Dr. Conebeam again. I've been putting up some videos of medial arterial calcification, or MAC, and showing you how to identify it and separate it from plain old calcified plaques, plaques being in the intimal layer and MAC in the medial layer, and MAC being more likely related to diabetes mellitus, either undiagnosed or uncontrolled. So I'm going to show you another trick today. I showed you the MIP tool, the MIP tool last time, but I'm going to open up the patient and we're going to look at another tool. Okay, in my particular software, the one that I use, Cyberment's On Demand 3D, this particular tool is called the Cube tool, and I'll show you briefly how it works and how you can sometimes be tricked into thinking that it's a plain old sclerotic plaque or calcified plaque in the arterial layer or atherosclerosis, when indeed the calcifications are occurring around the arterial wall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a patient up. You can see I've got this patient anonymized, and we'll go in the coronal plane of section. In actual fact, sometimes that is more like looking at a panoramic where you see the calcifications down in the down in the region of the oral pharynx or nearby. So I've put it in the coronal plane of section, and I'm going to scroll through this until I see a plaque. I know this patient has one. In fact, there are two that look plaque-like. We'll put a filter on to sharpen a little bit. And if you look at the area that I'm showing you here, I'll put an arrow on. There's one, and there's a second one. You could be forgiven by just stopping there and saying, oh yeah, those are diffuse sclerotic plaque on this side and a small, kind of more well-defined one on the other. When in actual fact, if we first go into the axial plane of section, go find those calcifications, you'll see that the one on the left side right here is actually quite circular. And so even just doing our MIP tool and thickening this slice out would show you, what you're really looking at. So we'll go back to the coronal plane of section, and you can see that these calcifications, here this one's a little bit bigger now, still look rather, quote, plaque-like, okay, or calcified. And I think we need to make a distinction between a plaque and a calcified plaque. If you're going to call something arteriosclerotic plaque, I would still call it calcified. But I want to show you a tool. I've got this little tool over here. It's called the Cube tool. If I sit over it and pick it up, it's going to tell me to select a target position. So I'm either going to put it on this calcification or this one. Well, let's do this one because we know that one's circular. And I'm going to click here and drag it out and click again. And looking from the anterior, it still looks kind of like a sclerotic plaque. But if I now rotate this calcification, you'll see that it looks very round. Okay, it looks like it almost completely surrounds the arterial wall. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to just do a little bit more fancy imaging, make it a little bit more visible. And now, if you look at this calcification, you'll see that unlike what it would appear like in the coronal plane or sagittal or on a panoramic, you can see that it's actually very circular. So that's another trick. I think most oromaxillofacial radiologists do not use their tools frequently enough, especially the colorization tools like this Cube tool, to be able to convince themselves or take it a step further to convince their client that in actual fact this particular lesion is unlike what it would show in a 2D conventional panoramic. If you have questions, you can contact me, miles.dale@gmail.com. If you like these videos, please share them. If you want to go to my YouTube channel, you can also like the videos on that one. It's just drconebeam.com, and you'll find all of most of my videos on there as well. Thanks again. Hope this helps.